Okay, hello all. Welcome to our first kickoff How To Tuesday of the semester. Thank you all for joining us. How To Tuesday is our weekly webinar series where we give you quick 30-minute bites of information from all over campus and beyond to teach you how to succeed. My name is Claire. I'm your teaching and learning librarian, and we're joined today by Stephanie Shade from the Parkville branch of the Mid-Continent Public Library. And she's going to talk to us today about finding good books to read. We are very happy to have you with us today. We'll have a chance for questions at the end, or you can type them in the chat at any time, and I'll make sure they get asked. And we'll be putting a recording of this webinar on our website so that you can watch it later. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over.
Thank you, Claire. I am Stephanie Shade. I am the branch manager of the Parkville branch, right up 9 Highway from y'all. So we're your local public library. And I am going to talk to you guys about how we find our reading vibes and reading for pleasure and some of the tools that the public library has available for you guys, as well as some other like general recommendations that are not library attached, but it's fine. So I am going to share my screen. Bear with me as I do this because we use Teams still, not Zoom. So I just got to figure it out a little bit. All right, we're going to share that screen. Okay. Everyone sees it? Yes, okay. Let me minimize some things. Okay, so how to find your reading vibe. And me. Okay, so I want to talk just briefly about why we read for fun. We talk a lot about why reading for pleasure and reading for fun is super important for kids, but it's also super important for adults too. The biggest thing is reduce stress. Reading can be a form of self-care. It's my favorite form. It keeps our minds active and can boost cognitive function. If you're specifically engaging with fiction, that can enhance things like empathy, social connections, and self reflections. Books are both windows and mirrors. They let us see other perspectives beyond our own and also reflect our perspectives back to us, both of which are, I think, vital. And then, of course, reading for fun and pleasure encourages imagination and creative thought. So, some terms to know. There will not be a quiz. This is just good information to have. When we talk about the things that you like in a book, we're talking about appeal factors, the elements and qualities of a book that describe the reading experience or how a book makes you feel. And then there are several facets of appeal factors that are listed below. So, tone or mood, which is how does it make you feel? Is it haunting? Is it romantic? Is it dark, heartwarming, upbeat, funny, creepy, suspenseful, that kind of thing? Character. Who do you want to read about? Because you get to decide that. These can be kind of twofold. So, heroic characters, relatable characters, flawed or quirky. But these can also be description terms, neurodivergent, bisexual, Black, Indigenous, gay, Christian, Muslim, etc. You can kind of put those hand in hand to really narrow down who you're reading about. Storyline. What is the focus and structure? Is it a first person narrative or does it have multiple perspectives? Maybe we have an unreliable narrator. Those are always fun. Is it intricately plotted or is it open ended? Style. What is the writing like? Is it plot driven? Is it character driven? Maybe it's lush and lyrical in its writing. Pacing. How fast does the book read? Of course, fast paced, leisurely paced. Sometimes they're relentless with the action. Sometimes it's like a slow burn escalation. All of those things. And then frame, what is in the background? What's the frame the story is taking place in, right? So is it richly detailed? Is there a strong sense of place? Is it immersive? This is where we talk about the world building, right? So all of these are terms to know. And we will dig in a little bit more, especially when we talk about novelists here in a minute. So, how to get started? You will need a computer, tablet, or mobile device, quite frankly, internet access, and then your library access pass and pen. If we're going to go back to the hint in a second. If you don't have a library card already, that's okay. You can register for a virtual card online at mymcpl.org, or just come up 9 Highway and we'll get you taken care of in the branch too. With a virtual card, you can't check out physical items, but you would have access to all of the online resources and, of course, Libby with ebooks and e-audiobooks. So, and then we just tell everyone this hint for your personal account, your PIN number is your 8-digit birthday. So, it's the question we get asked most. All right. So when you are on the library's website, which is listed above, mymcpl.org, on this is what our landing page looks like. And on the upper right corner, if you go to browse, there's a little drop down. And if you go to books, movies, and music, that's going to take you to kind of our RA and Watchers Advisory for movies and stuff like that landing page. There are several things on the left-hand side. We have book award lists. You can see book groups that we have across the library system. You can explore genres. We have expand your shelf and read local. So all of these are available, but we're going to talk about reading suggestions. So when you click on reading suggestions, it's going to pull up some of our resources, online resources especially. We're going to talk about Novelist because Novelist is like the golden child kind of when it comes to RA. You just click on that first Novelist Plus link that I circled in red, and it's going to take you directly to the site. So give me a second because we are going to go live, maybe. There we go. Yes. All right. So let me move over. There we go. Beautiful. You guys can see the website, right? Perfect. Okay. I'll get there real quick. Reading suggestions. Novelist Plus. All right. So this is the Novelist landing page. They are starting to do some like curated lists, books with buzz, things like that. It lets you, there's a quick little story elements guide that you can just, if you want to real quick pick some things to narrow down, and then new series, stuff like that. And then, of course, like more general browsing factors down at the bottom. For if you're not sure what you want to read, I think the best place to start in Novelist is actually going to be in the Appeals Factors Index. So if you click on Discover Novelist on the drop down, we're going to do Appeals Factors. And it is going to load this kind of like description and how to guide basically with links to tags. So it's going to go over Novelist version of storyline, characterization, mood, style, etc. And then it's going to deep dive into each little piece. So storyline talks about perspective, plot line, with obviously links to some of those terms, characterization, and it again is going to talk about the characters. Hang on a second. Let me turn myself off here. Make myself not available, please. Because of course it didn't do that. All right, it's fine. No worries. Okay. And then mood, style, all the way down, right? You can even do illustrations if you want books and graphic novels that have illustrations. And then character identities, this is where you're going to find identity listings. If you are more interested in audiobooks, they even have audio characteristics and terms, so you can narrow down that. So it's quite a big page, but it's got some really good information here and the direct links to like certain types of things. So if I'm thinking I want to read about flawed characters, right? So I'm going to click on flawed characters. And it's going to pull up a lot, right? 15,000 results. I obviously need to narrow this down. So I'm going to go to all filters. And on the right, I'm going to start narrowing things down. So let's say, okay, audience, I definitely want adult. And then I want fiction. And now I'm going to go to mood. Okay. And I can pick more terms to narrow it down based on what the mood is, right? I want it to be angst filled, for example. And then let's say I want it to be fast paced. So I'm going to go to storyline. Um, Sorry, it's not story. It's not fast paced. I want unreliable narrator. That's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to update all my selections and I'm going to apply. And now I have 22 results. So much better than 15,000. This little list is going to list, your results list is going to have, each book will have a quick little blurb, kind of going over your synopsis, and then it's going to have your subject tags. So this is going to list both what is in the story, and also it's going to have those appeal factors as tags as well. And then if the book is on Goodreads, it's going to list the Goodreads ratings with the reviews. And you can also check the library catalog to see availability. From this results list, you can find title read-alikes and you can find author read-alikes as well. So that is a great place to start if you're just looking for something new based on a certain type of feeling you want to have. Now, if you have a book that you super duper love, I'm going to pick Fourth Wing just because. I'm going to put Fourth Wing in the search box and just click title. Oh, for real? Oh, because the filters are still on. Hold on. Clear my filters. Okay. Now when I search Fourth Wing, it's going to pull up Fourth Wing. And it's going to take me directly to the title. This title page is going to have, again, your description. It's going to have your Goodreads rating. It's telling you that it's an award winner. And the very next thing is your read-alikes. And in Novelist, these read-alikes are based on those appeal factor tags. It's not necessarily like an author read-alike in general. It is very much specific to the story and what the appeal factors are in the story. I have read probably half of these, so I'm going to say When the Moon Hatched. I'm going to click on that. It's going to give you why it believes that it matches. This one's not great because it's a novelist one. Let me go to Fireborn. So there are actually people that put reasons why both series are read-alikes to each other. Fireborn and Fourth Wing are both epic fantasy series openers that star strong young women who must reckon with their future as dragon riders. Each features extensive world building, authentic characters, and plenty of action. But Fourth Wing is much steamier than the young adult novel Fireborn. So that kind of gives you an idea. And you can just click through here and see the read-alike reasons for all of the books on the list, or you can just pick one that sounds good. So, and then you can see the tags for the book, the elements to find others that you might enjoy. And you can pick things from here and find another search result list. The possibilities can be endless. And then, of course, further down, all of your professional critical reviews, Kirkus, Booklist, Publishers Weekly, all of those are listed here. And then, of course, there's other formats. So they are going to list information about the audiobooks, the graphic audio. Yeah, there's the graphic audio, that kind of thing. And so you can check out all of those too if there are other formats. Novelist is doing curated lists a little bit, not as much as like the library does with BiblioCommons. There's 306 lists on Novelist right now, but it can be a way to find some recommendations kind of based on themes or subject, stuff like that. Okay, so that's Novelist. I am going to minimize that. All right. So additional resources. Like I said, there are other resources on the books, movies, and music page. There's an award award page, but that's going to be extensive because there's a lot of book awards out there. And then expand your shelf and explore genres. But our online catalog is another great resource where library professionals have put together curated lists for our patrons. So the catalog link it's right there on the page. You can't miss it. And when you click on it, it's going to take you directly to the catalog. So let me go back again and get you to the catalog. So I'm going to log in just because I think that's easiest. So I'm going to log in, register. I have my stuff saved because I'm in this catalog a lot. So it just makes my life easier. And then it's going to take me back to the home page. The very first carousel here on the top is staff lists from Mid-Continent. Generally, these change out once a month, and we try to do 15 to 20 lists a month. And it runs the gamut of kids, teens, adults, nonfiction, fiction, all of the things. And they all have themes, clearly. So Golden Globes 2026, funny books, the Winter Reading Challenge, which is happening right now, that kind of thing. So there's going to be a full carousel of curated lists right at the top. And then when you scroll down the catalog, we use Bibliocommons as our catalog software with Mid-Continent, and they serve a ton of library systems across the US and Canada. So when you start digging into the catalog, you actually start digging into not just what MCPL has, but also you'll see lists and users from across the country, which is actually kind of cool. We've recently reviewed, recently rated, and then at the very bottom, you actually can see like other users who have made curated lists. So let's talk about MCPL lists. Let's do, I'm gonna go back. If you want to conquer the world, you best have dragons. This list was done by, has been put up by our MCPL fiction account. And every list that Mid-Continent does, we give you a little brief description and then we tell you who created the list, which branch they're from. So this one was created by Amanda at our Withers branch. And then when you scroll down, you get covers, titles, authors, and little synopses. And it also tells you if the book is available. So all of these books, the library does own in either in physical form or in ebook or e-audiobook. And they will also tell you right in the list if all copies are in use or if you could get it checked out reasonably quickly. So I'll go to When Women Were Dragons, and we can see that we have 4 copies in the system, but all of them are being used and 7 people are waiting in line. So it's going to be a little bit before this book is available, but you can place a hold. I have one-click hold turned on also because my TBR is ridiculous. So, but on the little at the bottom, it's going to tell you that you've requested the hold and that you're number 8 in line. So, yay. Now, when you scroll down in our catalog, you also get the critical reviews, and then you get, if there are user reviews, that's going to be listed here as well. You will not see the number of user reviews that you do like in Goodreads. It's just, there's not as many users to pull from, but sometimes it's helpful. And then there are staff lists featuring this title. So you can see that we have put this book on at least 2 lists. And then you get a little novelist crossover. You may also like these. And similar authors from Novelist. And then you can click back over to Novelist as well if you want. So there's a ton of information on here from Bibliocommons in the catalog, but all of it can be super helpful. Let me check. I can show you one other thing. Okay, so A Fate Forged in Fire. All of the copies of this book are in use, and it's across all formats. So I'm going to go back and I am going to just click on it so you can see what it looks like. So there's the book, there's the ebook and there's the e-audiobook. I can switch over to e-audio and it's going to tell me that we have 2 copies in the system. They're both checked out right now and 3 people are on hold. Now we do all of our ebook and e-audiobook titles go through Libby, but you can still place holds through the catalog for those things. When you hit place hold, it's going to say, hey, what email do you want to use for your notification? It's going to pull whatever email you signed up with your library card with. So place hold, and then huzzah, I did a thing. So I'm number 4 in line. All right, so let me go back. One of the things that I kind of love about BiblioCommons, because they are so large and serve so many library systems, is that I can actually kind of see what other library systems have recommended. So if I change my search to list and I'm going to say I want fantasy, it's going to pull up all of the lists that have been made that have fantasy somewhere in the title. That's a lot of them. There's 30,000. So I'm going to narrow it down. I'm going to number 1, I'm going to say library staff to start, just because these are really, give me a second. I'm going to say library staff, just because that is going to give me librarian curated lists from across the country. And you can see, like, this very first one is from Daniel Boone Regional Library. That is down in Columbia. There's going to be, let's see, Vancouver Public Library. There's going to be Austin, right? So you can really dig in and you will see lists that have, like, Austin has 70 items, and Herrick District Library, this one has 8. So, and you can narrow it down even further if you want to. You can narrow it down by genre. You can narrow it down by topic. And if you want to go a little bit more in depth, you can do general recommendations, genre guides, topic guides, etc. And of course, if we click on this, I'm following it now, of course, because it just automatically popped up. When you click on the name, you'll actually see how many lists this account has done, and you can kind of play around a little bit. You can follow or unfollow. I'm going to unfollow really quick, but you can follow user accounts this way. If they have shelves, you can see their shelves, books they've completed, in progress for later. This is really, you can set this to private, if, by the way, if you don't want to share that information. Mine is public just because my name's not actually attached to it, but it's my personal catalog account. We also have the Explore tab on our catalog. Recent activity is like the landing page. You can also see new titles. This is stuff that has either just arrived or is on order. And you can filter it down a little bit based on the format, the content, the age of the audience, and then language. And then, of course, we have award books. Again, there's going to be a ton. And we have the bestseller lists available if you're curious. So like New York Times, we list and it updates every time the bestseller list updates. So hardcover fiction, and it's just in order of, 1, 2, 3, their position on the list. And from here, you can see if we have it available, place holds on them, all of that good stuff. And then finally, another place you can go explore is new and forthcoming. This is where you'll also see, we have new nonfiction, but then if there is, if you're looking for like new releases coming out in a specific genre, you can also do that over on the right as well. So that is a brief catalog overview. And then I'm going to get PowerPoint back up. All right. So some of our catalog accounts you can follow. Like I said, you can, if you write these down, you can change it to user and just search for the user directly. MCPL, fiction, nonfiction, Pop Culture does a lot of fun things based on relevant events and things happening currently. And then our staff picks. And I always recommend any library system that uses BiblioCommons and has library accounts, especially the larger systems. You can find some really great user accounts to follow as well. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about Libby, and I'm going to show you the super cute little tool that Libby just came out with. So the Mid-Continent has access to thousands of ebooks and e-audiobooks through Libby. We have books in multiple languages through Libby. You can have up to 50 checkouts at a time and 50 items on hold. And default for Libby is a 21-day checkout. And of course, it goes back as soon as the checkout period is done. And so you don't have late fees. So those are always the good things with Libby. Libby ideally looks best on either a mobile device or a tablet, but it is not terrible on a desktop either. So the easiest way to get to Libby from the website is going to just be search all resources, type in Libby. And it's going to be your very first result, Libby by Overdrive. And if you click on that, it's going to load you straight in. I'm already logged in on Libby. Libby has a tendency to keep your login information across devices. So that's just something to be aware of. The first time that you log into Libby, you will need your library card number and your PIN, all 8 digits of your birthday. So landing page, it's going to dump you directly into a list. This one is exceed your reading goal. These are not curated lists though. These are just lists based on parameters that Libby is pulling. So these ones are short books and short audiobooks so that you can meet your reading goals. And then there's general guides, extras, more lists, right? I didn't see that coming. Books with a twist. Again, this is not curated, 330 titles. They're doing this now. It's fine. I guess it looks pretty. This is an in memoriam list for people that we lost in 2025. And then you can kind of just see they're just various, there's books in Spanish down here, Christian fiction, most popular that are available now, so you don't have to put a hold on it, that kind of thing. And at the very bottom, magazines, because the magazines are also through Libby. Real fast. If you want to search, you can search by specific title up here at the top. You can also do kind of a basic search. If you want to do books, we click on books. We're going to do available now because we don't want to wait. And then you can narrow this down a little bit more. I want general content. I want it to be first in series because I want to start at the beginning. And then I can pick like a kind of general genre. The subject is genre in Libby. So I'm going to say historical fiction. And then I say, show me those 1800 titles. And it's going to give me books that are the first in series that I can borrow right now that are historical fiction. And obviously, some of this is crossover. We know Bridgerton is also like romantic historical fiction. The same thing as Outlander. But these are all going to have the tags for historical fiction. And then you can borrow from there. When you hit borrow, it's going to tell you you're borrowing for 21 days. It's going to tell you how many loans you have, how many holds you have. And then you pick read with. You can either send it to your Kindle. There's a lot of steps for that. If you do this and struggle to figure out how to send it to your Kindle, we recommend calling the branch so we can like walk you through it step by step. Amazon doesn't like to play nice with libraries. So, and then you can do Libby on this device. You can read on a computer. And you can also read on any of the other e-readers that aren't Kindles, your phone, etc. Then I'm just going to go back to the home. So the little house building takes you back to the home page. We'll come back to the little guy in the middle. The books is your bookshelf. And you can see the things that you have checked out. And you can see, so The Secret of Secrets, there's people waiting for this audiobook. So when my loan is up in 11 days, I will not be able to renew it. I'll have to put it back on hold. I'm probably not going to get through this one because it's 23 hours and I haven't started it yet. So, and then you can see everything else I have on my loan shelf. You can look at your holds. I like romance, leave me alone. It's all good. We don't shame here. And if you want to see, you can see a timeline of kind of your checkouts and your activity year by year. And this is also Libby will save your checkouts, which is kind of nice. So, what Fury brings, I started it back in December. It's already been returned, but it still shows up here in my history. So that's that's helpful. Because for the most part with physical items, the library does not keep a list of what you have checked out and then turned back in for privacy reasons. So, all right. The little person in the middle here. This is basically your like account profile. So real quick down here at the bottom, all of your library cards, because you can add multiple library cards to Libby. And then your settings for your notification, accessibility, content control, language, all that good stuff. This is the fun little tool they just added. Inspire me with fiction, nonfiction, or a tag. I'm going to say inspire me with fiction for adults that is scandalous, like Marriage Under Suspicion in the Dark, Women Caught Between Desire and Morality, Psychological Twists Hide Household Secrets, Betrayal, Murder, and Family Dysfunction Exposed. We'll go with that one. Betrayal, Murder, and Family Dysfunction Exposed. And Libby's going to pull together a few little titles for me that meet those terms and inspiration. So, My Darling Husband, it's a slider thing. An Honest Lie, The Replacement Wife, and Dead to Her. And you can see it's got a little bar at the bottom that tells you how close it is to what we're looking for. And you can borrow directly from here. So this is a new thing they've just started. It's adorable. We're pretty sure it uses AI. So, but it's cute. It's fun. And that's a fun little tool. So that is a real quick overview on Libby. The tag, I kind of ignore. That is if you wanted to like tag your things that you've checked out, you could do that yourself. But it's not something I find very useful. So I kind of ignore it, and that's fine. Okay, pull this back up. All right. Other websites to utilize that we can talk about. Obviously, Goodreads is your big one. It's one of the longest running and most well known. It is owned by Amazon now. So there are going to be links that directly take you to Amazon. There are going to be ads for Amazon on Goodreads now. It is what it is. Storygraph is an alternative. Storygraph, it can be used on a desktop or a laptop. It is another book tracking site that's been around for several years now. They do use machine learning AI to provide recommendations. So, do with that information what you will. Fable is newer. Fable is only an app. So Fable cannot be used on a desktop or a laptop. It is still a book tracking site, but it has a focus on community connections. So groups, boards, that kind of thing. I have heard very good things about Fable. I have not used it myself. Library Journal, although it is a professional publication, is moving that over, guys. Sorry. Does have some readers advisory tools available, and that's linked here. Literature Map it's a simple tool, but it's kind of fun. It lets you find author read-alikes. So it's not going to be, we're going to go look at it. It is not going to be, come on. No, you don't want to go for me? Really? I'll just go here. It's fine.
While that's happening, do you like The Nightshade God by Hannah Whitten? I couldn't help but notice you read it in December.
I'm still trying to get through it. I
Okay.
read the first two. I don't
Yes,
know.
I did
Yeah.
too.
And I really liked them, and now I'm struggling. I don't know why. But I
Okay.
like Hannah Witten so much.
I know, I want to love this one too. So kind of finish it and then come back and we can talk about it.
Okay, that sounds good. Why is it blocking? I'm gonna throw it out the window. It's fine. So we're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna go this way. Oh, because I didn't put, okay. So I'm literally just gonna say, we were just talking about Hannah Witten, and it's literally like a map. And you're just gonna click, I think it's the closer they are to her name in the middle, the closer it is in similarity. So it's picking like Rachel Gillig, and it's just gonna keep giving you authors. So not as much like book recommendations, but if you're looking for a new author, if you have an author you really, really love, this could be something to try. So, and it's just a fun little like cluster map thing. So, let me pull that back up. And then, of course, we have what should I read next, which is like a user, other reader recommendation based on what you have already read, what you should read next. So, and then that is all I have. So, I super appreciate you guys hanging with me. This is the first like virtual